Hey guys, it is July the 17th, 2025, and I hope everybody's been having a wonderful day so far today. Guys, I am so sorry I wasn't here yesterday. I was feeling so bad yesterday after that procedure was over with, and I'm not feeling all that great today either. This is about the worst I've felt after any one of these extractions I've had done. And the thing that's crazy about it is I've had extractions where I've had multiple teeth pulled, and this time it was only one tooth, and I have just felt horrible. I don't know if they changed the medication that they gave me, and I'm going to get into that here in just a minute. I'm going to try to keep today's video as short as possible. It is seriously like 103 degrees out here right now, and I have not felt good all day today. It's challenging sitting here right now in this heat feeling the way that I do, because I have been dealing with nausea so bad. But let me backtrack just a little bit. Yesterday morning we got to the surgical center. I filled out my paperwork, and then we waited for a little bit. They called me to the back. I went back there. It was freezing cold back there too. I mean, ice cold. And I had on shorts. I dressed for it to be hot yesterday morning, and what's crazy is on the way there I was sweating. I had to have my wife turn the AC on for me because I was so hot, and then we walk in there and like, I don't know what temperature they had it set on. It must have been 50 degrees back there. I was freezing cold, and the nurse could see I was sitting on the table like shaking. She asked me, well, I wasn't sitting on a table. I was sitting in like one of those recliner chair things. But she asked me, do you want a blanket? And I was like, yeah, please give me a blanket. She went and grabbed me one and went ahead and draped that over me. And then she went ahead and placed the heart monitors on. And then after she did the heart monitors, she went ahead and installed the IV. And I asked the nurse, I said, just do me a favor. Like, will you just let me know before you're about to give me whatever the medication is, you know, before you guys knock me out? And she was like, yeah, I'll tell you about a minute beforehand. So they were getting all their stuff together. I was just kind of just sitting there, just chilling out, watching everybody do their thing. The doctor walked in the room. You know, they started talking back and forth with each other. And there was confusion about what tooth it was, which was just mind-boggling to me, because I'd already been there for, you know, like orientation to talk with the doctor about what tooth it is. He looked at it. And they were like, we had to get a referral back from your dentist's office. I'm like, I've already been here and spoken with the doctor. He looked at it. I don't understand what the confusion is, but he had to take a look again. He was like, okay. And I don't remember what tooth he said it was. There was a confusion if it was 18 or 19. I don't know. But anyway, they finally figured that out. And then next thing you know, the nurse was like, I'm about to go ahead and inject this right now. And I said, okay. And I saw her take the needle, and she, you know, inserted it into that little, there's like a little Y thing on the side of the little IV line they can inject stuff into. And she went ahead and put the needle in there and started to inject it. And I have never felt this before. And maybe one of you guys that's a little bit more medically inclined than I am would know what this might be. But I've never felt this before. When she gave me an injection, it burned. I mean, it felt so hot going up my arm. As soon as she started pushing down on that syringe, it felt like she was injecting hot lava into my arm. I'm not kidding. It was really, really hot. And I could feel it like traveling up my arm, like all the way up here into my shoulder. And then that's it. I don't remember anything else. I just remember this really, really heavy burn. And I remember looking at her and going, okay, here we go. And I started to like see everything start to fade to black, and then that's it. I don't remember anything else. And the next memory that I have after that was waking up in my bed, and it was late in the afternoon. It was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we had to be there yesterday morning at 9 o'clock. I think my wife said that we got back home at like 11:30 or something like that. And like I said, I didn't wake up until like 4 o'clock, 4:30 yesterday afternoon. When I woke up, I was so discombobulated. I had no idea where I was at. I didn't know what had happened. I was so lost, so confused. I have not been like that. It's been so long. Even after the procedures I've had at the hospital, and I'm not going to say that I haven't been like discombobulated at the end, but this time was just very odd. My wife told me yesterday that when because they wheel you out in a wheelchair, and they wheel you out right beside your car, and then they help you get in. And my wife said that I kept like falling down, like I could not get up and get into the truck, that it took all of them, like 3 nurses and my wife, to like get me up into the truck. And our truck sits a little bit high off the ground, so I'd imagine, they did kind of have a hard time with me. But my wife said I was so out of it. I had no idea what was going on. She was trying to talk to me. She said I was looking in outer space. She said once they got me in the truck, then she was on the way home. She's like, now what do I do when I get home? Because I don't have any help. And once we got back here, she said that it took her forever to get me out of the truck and get me into the house, because I kept falling asleep. She'd wake me up, and then I would just, and then I'd go back to sleep again. But she eventually, I guess she figured it out, got me inside and got me into the bed. And like I said, I slept for hours. I have no recollection of what happened, nothing. I know that I just woke up around 4 o'clock, 4:30. I felt absolutely horrible. I felt so nauseous. I got up, the first thing I did was throw up. I guess because all the blood was just running down the back of my throat. My stomach does not handle blood well at all. It just doesn't. Never has. I wouldn't imagine most people's does, but like I really don't handle it well. I can remember being like, I think it was like 18 when I had my wisdom teeth pulled, and that's as soon as I got home from having that done, I threw up because of the blood that time too. And I don't know, I was just very, very ill yesterday afternoon. And I would imagine too that with, my liver being compromised, that, it takes a while. I have a longer half-life on these medications that they give you. They stick around for a lot longer. And I probably get, worse side effects than a normal person would, due to the fact that, I have cirrhosis. My liver just can't filter that stuff out and get rid of it. I just felt really out of it yesterday, and I kind of tried to wait around. I waited and waited, and it was about 7:30 last night, and I was like, I just can't do a video today. I just can't. I felt way too out of it. I felt way too sick. I was so nauseous. I'm like really nauseous right now too. And the thing is well, something that's really making me sick is I have been bleeding really bad this time, worse than any of the other times I've had my teeth pulled. It just will not stop bleeding, and like it's just blood. And I'm not trying to be gross. I'm so sorry, and I'm gonna talk about it for like maybe the next 20 seconds, but if you want to fast forward. But it's just been like, it will not stop bleeding. And then today, I had to get back on my blood thinners today. I take Eliquis 5 milligram tablets twice a day, and I take an 81 milligram aspirin once a day as well. And leading up to that procedure, because I have so many health problems and blood clotting issues and all that stuff, I had to bridge off the Eliquis, because the Eliquis will stay in your body for like 3 days. So what you have to do is you have to stop the Eliquis 3 days prior, like 3 full days before your procedure, and you have to bridge with another medication called Lovenox, or at least that's the medication they put me on, which is an injectable medication. So I have to give myself shots twice a day, every 12 hours with Lovenox 3 days before leading up. So the first day, second day, and third day leading up to my procedure, and then the day of the procedure, I don't take anything at all. I just go out of the procedure, and then I resume my Eliquis the day after. The thing with the Lovenox is I have some pretty bad side effects from it. One, I give myself the injections, and I give them to myself in my thigh, and I get these really big whelps, huge black and blue bruises that end up being around the area where I have to inject myself for some reason. And it gives me really bad stomach problems whenever I get on that medication for some reason. I don't know why, but every single time I take it, it just wrecks my stomach. It just makes me feel bad, but it's what I have to do. And the thing is I ruined my health with my consumption. You know, I was thinking about this the other day about a time that I was on the river kayaking. I was with a good friend of mine. We were kayaking down this river that was flooded one day. This river usually runs about 3 to 5,000 CFS or cubic feet per second. And when we were out there this day, it was like 35,000 cubic feet per second. It had risen like 10 feet. So it was significantly bigger, and it was like licking the back of these people's porches along the river. I mean, it had gotten really bad. But, you know, that's when kayakers get on the river because they enjoy that. You know, the river's moving faster, big rapids open up. It's just fun. But we were on this river one day, and I had remembered that I had drank really heavy the night before, and we were out there kayaking, and I can remember that we were in the middle of this river, which is a very wide river to begin with. It's probably a half a mile wide or a quarter of a mile wide. It's very, very wide, maybe a third of a mile wide at some of its wider places. And, of course, it shallows out where it gets really wide like that. But, I mean, it's a very wide river. And when you're on the river like that and it's flooded, I mean, there's so much water flowing through there. If you were to have to swim in a situation like that, I mean, you're talking about, you know, they're going to have to get some serious equipment out there to save your life. And I remember being out there kayaking, and I just kept feeling like I was going to pass out. We were, like, right in the dead center of this river and going through these huge rapids. And I'll just never forget as I'm going through them, like I kept feeling like my consciousness was like fading out on me. And I remember going through this one big rapid system. I kind of like lost consciousness for a second. What that was, I don't know. It could have been my blood pressure. It could have been my blood sugar that day because I'd been drinking really heavy the night before, and I was hungover. But I'm sure that, you know, there was something to do with my diabetes or something like that was going on because I really felt bad that day. And I had to paddle all the way from the center of the river all the way over to the side of the river. My buddy's like, hey, man, what are you doing? Like, you're missing all the rapids. And I had to tell him, I was like, dude, I don't feel okay. Like, something's going on. And I don't want to, you know, pass out or something in the middle of this river and then flip over in my kayak. And you're in those kayaks. Like, your knees are on the inside, like, way up in there, like, locked in. You know, you ratchet your back strap all the way up. I mean, you're in that kayak. You have to bend your legs a certain way to get out of it if you flip upside down that way. And if you're unconscious, you're not getting out. So it scared me, and I had to pull over to the side of the river and just kind of go down right there. And that's kind of the way that I felt yesterday. It was just like that out of it feeling. It just felt horrible. And today I felt like that. I don't know. I really think it has to do with the medication they put me on because I've never felt a burn like that whenever they've given me an injection. What that was, I don't know. I really don't know what they gave me. I didn't ask. I mean, I really didn't have an opportunity to. Next thing you know, she's going, I'm giving you the shot. And then before you know it, I was waking up here. But like I said, yesterday was a really rough day. I did not feel well. As a matter of fact, I felt very bad yesterday. The worst that I've felt after any of these extractions ever. And you know, the thing is that it's my fault. I did all of this to myself. You know, I continued to drink for years and years, even though I could feel that my body was starting to fall apart. And like that story I was just telling, kayaking down that river and feeling like I was about to pass out. I mean, I used to feel like that all the time. You know, I would feel like that in the mornings when I would wake up, especially when I was driving my car. I would get really lightheaded, and I'm sure that had something to do with my anxiety, but I just felt lightheaded all the time. I always felt like I was about to fall over. You know, that could have been my blood sugar. There's a lot of feelings that I used to feel, and I used to feel bad all the time. And now looking back, I've spoken about this, but I definitely think that I've had diabetes for a long time. I think a lot of those feelings I used to feel was low blood sugar and really high blood sugar at that as well. Plus, you know, I was having pancreatic issues. I would get really, really sick. I would get these really bad stabbing pains in my pancreas and in my liver. And I didn't do anything about it. I just kept going on like this. You know, I just put my hands over my face. I had my blinders on, and I just kept going, nothing's wrong. Everything's okay. You know, as long as I don't say anything about it, then it doesn't really exist. And that's exactly what I thought. I mean, I promise you guys, that's what was going through my head. If I didn't say anything, if I didn't tell my wife, if I didn't go see the doctor, if I didn't make it real, if I didn't bring it into existence, then it really didn't exist. It was just a fragment of my imagination, and that's all it was. And you know, my whole concept is that I'm gonna quit tomorrow anyway, so it doesn't even matter. You know, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna get better. My body's gonna have time to heal, and that's that. And you know, the thing is that I also had this idea in my head that I'll never get cirrhosis. I'll never get pancreatitis. I'll never get fatty liver or fibrosis or any of these alcohol-related diseases, because that doesn't happen to me. That happens to somebody else. That happens to the homeless guy. You know, that happens to the 80-year-old homeless guy who's been living on the streets for the past 30 years, drinking, you know, wine out of those big glass bottles with the little finger thing on them or something. You know, that's what I always thought in the back of my mind, is that's the type of people who get it. You know, you have to be walking on the street with a paper bag in your hand to get cirrhosis. That is so far from the truth. You could be a billionaire and get cirrhosis. It doesn't know, you know, it doesn't have any boundaries at all. It doesn't matter what your race is, how much money you have, what your social status is, how many friends you have on Facebook. Cirrhosis doesn't care. Fatty liver doesn't care. Pancreatitis doesn't care. You know, these burst varices, they don't care. None of this stuff cares. All that matters is that you continue to drink and drink and drink and drink, and you know, you do this every single day for years upon years, and eventually your body just gives out. It can't keep doing that. And if you're not giving your body a chance to heal itself, you're not giving your liver a chance to heal back, and giving your pancreas a chance to heal back. You know, I did that every single day for so many years. And now I'm still suffering the consequences because of it. Now, am I lucky to still be here? I absolutely am. I am so blessed to be here. I mean, they told me I had 1 year left to live back in October of 2022. So I should have been gone October of 2023. And here it is, we're coming up on October of 2025. I mean, it's about to be 2 years after that fact. So don't get me wrong, I feel very blessed to be here. But at the same time, you know, like I said, I caused this to myself. You know, I would not stop drinking. It was always, I'm going to quit tomorrow. It was always this idea of, I'm going to quit tomorrow and then everything's going to get better. And I don't need to worry about it after that, because after I quit drinking, my health will return. And then I can go see the doctor after that. It should have been the opposite way around. I should have just went and saw a doctor. And if I had gone and seen that doctor and they had seen me, they would have said, you're going into the hospital right now. And you got to stop drinking or you're going to lose your life. And that's what I was afraid of, because I didn't want someone to tell me that I had to stop. So anyway, guys, like I said, I'm okay. I just haven't felt well. I've been super nauseous all day today. I cannot get the taste of blood out of my mouth. After I had to take the Eliquis again today, it's just been constantly, it's not bleeding like really, really bad, but it's just like I cannot get that taste out of my mouth. I'm just hoping that tomorrow morning I wake up and I feel a lot better. But I wasn't going to skip another day today. I've been doing a lot of sleeping today as well. I just don't feel all that great, but I'm going to be okay. Like I said, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that my liver's compromised, and whatever that medication was that they gave me yesterday, I think it's just having a hard time leaving my body. I'm just dealing with some of the side effects from it. But once again, I'm going to be fine. I'm just going to spend the rest of the day getting some rest and, you know, sleep well tonight and then wake up tomorrow. And like I said, hopefully tomorrow when I wake up, I feel a heck of a lot better. And I haven't eaten anything in 2 days either. I had to stop eating, you know, 12 hours before I had my procedure on Wednesday morning. So I couldn't eat anything past 8 o'clock on Tuesday. I didn't feel good on Tuesday either. I was so nervous. I didn't eat anything that day, and I've already been having some stomach issues recently anyway, and so I didn't eat anything really on Tuesday. I didn't eat anything at all yesterday, and I haven't eaten anything today either. I need to get in there and try to find something to eat here, and just put something in my stomach. It's just so hard. I've tried a couple of times to like eat some Jell-O. I tried to eat some pudding, and like a half a bite into it, I was like, nope, because I thought I was about to throw up. So I just threw it away. But I'm going to go back in there and try after I get done filming today's video. Hopefully I'll be able to get something down. And I hope that makes me feel a little bit better. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I really do appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow with a regular video. And like I said, I hope that tomorrow I'm feeling better. I'm sure that I will. This has just been a really rough extraction that I had done. I don't know why I'm feeling so bad from it. But either way, like I said, it's my fault. There's no one else to blame but me. And, you know, I'm not trying to make excuses for any of this. I mean, once again, this is my fault. I drank my health completely away. I would not stop drinking. And now I'm still paying for it. You know, all these health problems that I've had have led to me having all these dental problems. And, you know, this is something that I used to have nightmares about when I was a kid. I mean, my whole entire life I've had nightmares about this, about losing my teeth. You know, I can remember so many nights waking up and, you know, I just had a horrible nightmare where my teeth were just falling out of my mouth, and it's actually happening now. My nightmare is turning true. All due to my consumption. So stay sober today out there, guys. You know, just don't go back to it. There's no point in it. Alcohol completely ruins your health. It's not good for you. And if you're like me, if you have a problem with alcohol, you cannot just have one drink. It doesn't work that way. You know, once we have a sip of alcohol, it's off to the races. And then that's when everything falls apart for us. There's a reason that you got sober. There's a reason. Something happened that you finally went, enough is enough. Don't forget about that. Think back to what that reason is. You know, did you go out and do something crazy and mess something up in your life? Did you mess something up at work? Did you go out one night and spend thousands of dollars? Did you break the law? I mean, what happened that finally made you go, enough is enough? And when you start to think about stopping by that gas station and how nice that Bud Light or whatever your beer or wine or whatever it is that you like to drink, because you're thinking about that on your way home from work and you're going, man, it'd be nice to have one of those. Or Saturday morning you're waking up going, man, it'd be nice to have a drink. Think back to what the reason was why you quit. Why did you want to get your life back in order? What happened? Think about all the mornings waking up feeling like a trash can and not wanting to go to work, or you called off from work when you should have been able to go in, but you couldn't, because if you're anything like me, and I know I keep saying that, you know, you go out to have one drink. You tell your work buddies or your friends or whatever, you know, they're like, come out with us, come out with us. And you're like, all right, I'm going to go out, I'm going to have one beer, and then I'm going home because I got to be at work in the morning. And then next thing you know, you find yourself stumbling out of some bar at 4 a.m. in the morning, and you've got to be at work at 7. It's because you have no self-control. And then next thing you know, you're at work feeling like total garbage all day long, if you even went in. And that happened to me too many times, way too many times. I'm sure there's so many of you out there that that's happened to you as well. And I'm sure each and every single one of those mornings when you had to go to work, you told yourself, I'm never doing this to myself again. But as soon as you started feeling better, what's the first thing that popped in your mind? That alcohol. And going back and having that drink so that you could feel even better again. It's a never-ending cycle, guys. It never stops. It just keeps going and going and going. And it's just much better to stay sober and just live this lifestyle. You know, sometimes it can be a little bit boring, but that pays. The being bored versus the other one, you know, it doesn't even equal the same. You know, you just have to find things to do that you know, keep your life from being boring. You know, staying as busy as you possibly can, going for walks, doing whatever you have to do. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off of here for today. like I said, I'll be back tomorrow with a regular video and a solid topic to talk about. I just wanted to come on here and let you guys know what happened yesterday and why I missed and all that stuff. But I've got a good idea for tomorrow's video, and I'm looking forward to doing that. But until tomorrow, I will see you all then. Thank you so much for being here today, and one day at a time, guys. It truly is. And let's stay sober for today. So with that said, until tomorrow, I love you guys so much.